Good afternoon, DJDS. Welcome back to DJDS Radio. This is your host, Cooper Coughlin, joined by this week's co-host, Mr. Andrew England, the DJDS Radio advisor. Welcome to our 10th episode.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Can you believe it is already our 10th episode?
It's pretty crazy. I think you guys have done a great job with this, and it's turned into something cool.
I know. It's like we just started this semester, and here we are, on our 10th episode, ahead of schedule, and it's just great. But I'm curious, what inspired you to start DJDS Radio this year?
It actually started when we've got this new intercom system in the school, and I'm sure at the beginning of the school year, everyone remembers how much fun Ben and GT were having with all the different possible sounds that you could play out of it. And just one day it kind of clicked for me. It's like, man, we could play like people's favorite songs for, the go to class bell or whatever. But I'm like, wait, if we could play just whatever song we want, why not some of the students, own work for the music production class? And then that's, led to me thinking, oh my gosh, we could do an entire radio show. So I just pitched that to GT and he loved it. And luckily we got, you guys were interested enough and have really done the legwork of turning this into something cool. So
yeah, I thought there would be more interest, but we're pretty good. We're a good production.
Probably next year. I would
say
once they see the product, once they see where what the possibilities, then yes.
Yeah, possibilities.
You're probably gonna have to turn people away.
We We finally figured out the intercom. Apparently, it's in the Commons now for Snack, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, the technical difficulties are driving me
bad.
crazy. So yes, that's what we're doing.
No, but Mr. Levy is also definitely having fun with the bells still. He just changed it to the airport ding sound.
Yes, I like that. I like that move. I'm not gonna
really
lie.
Interesting. Could you tell us a little bit more about just yourself, and how you ended up here at DJDS?
Oh wow. So about myself. Let's see. Well, I've always loved music, and I've had a lot of different paths and like gigs and jobs and things that I've done in my life, but that's always been a constant. Writing as well, and I graduated and was kind of looking for a job, and at the same time, my daughter was going to a different preschool, and I just kind of spied in one day to see how it was, and I saw them. They were being a little bit disrespectful to her, so I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to find her a new place to go to school, and I thought, you know what, I want to see if there's any good Jewish schools, and somewhere she can learn Hebrew, and found this, and then on their website it said that they submit an application. I'm like, well, I wonder if they're looking for an English teacher, and it turns out they were, and so it just kind of happened like that.
You have a military background. What was your role, and where did you serve?
I was an 0351 assaultman in the Marine Corps Infantry. That is an explosives designated person. I learned how to shoot rocket launchers and work with C4 and that kind of stuff. But I didn't end up doing much of that because Afghanistan, they don't have very many tanks or buildings made out of not mud. And so I ended up being a designated marksman. I was pretty good at shooting a rifle, so they put me on the top of buildings to watch intersections and school and that sort of thing.
And what led you to join the military?
Oh, that's a long story. A mix of patriotism, being broke, and really having not much direction in life. I wanted to do. I felt really inspired to do something that I thought would make a big difference and turn me into somebody that I could want to be. I didn't know I was very aimless, and I thought that this would give me some sort of direction.
And could you sort of describe your experience in the military?
A very mixed bag. I loved a lot of the guys that I worked with. Being in the military itself was a cool experience. It's just kind of like a one of a kind society that you don't you won't be able to experience in any other setting. But it was, physically difficult. It also was, the war was so tough. And not like the gore or that wasn't really, I didn't really have a problem with that, but it just we weren't over there for the right reasons, and there was a lot of criminal funny business going on. So that didn't feel very good to be participating in that. But overall, I had a friend who someone else asked him the same question, and his response, I'm going to steal it because I think it's an amazing response. He said, I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy, but I also would not trade it for anything in the world.
And looking ahead, what's your vision for, the rest of your career, but also just DJDS Radio?
For DJDS Radio, I mean, that is kind of the pinnacle of my career. I'm gonna be honest with you. Just seeing this thing flourish and turn into an international, sensation is the goal. No, I mean, I have my own artistic projects that I'm working on, and that I hope will get some sort of recognition. I'm not really seeking that, but it would be nice. But just to keep. I'm very lucky to have found a place in life where I get to do what I want, and do what I'm passionate about, and deal with things that I care about, basically from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep. So just keep finding a way to be in this place. Maybe not teaching like the exact same classes or being in the same, but just being a place in life where I can do what makes me happy.
And we're back with the rest of the DJS Radio team, Jonah Weitenfeld and David Monastersky. Speaking of communications and radio and all that stuff, the Tiger Times just came out, but also at the time of recording, the PAW hasn't come out, but for those listening, it would have come out probably a week ago. What are we thinking of this?
I think it's cool. I agree with that.
Can you guys elaborate?
I would say that the Tiger Times does have potential, but I feel like the PAW is like the original, and so that the PAW might come out on top.
I would agree, actually. The PAW is much better too, I feel like.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm not going to say anything on this because, I'm obviously biased, but it's great to hear your input. More worldly news. The Pope died.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my God. Yo, pause.
I don't know if I can make it through this. It's just so sad. Okay. Anyway, one of his final encounters was with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, who visited the Vatican over the weekend. But I've been seeing some stuff. It's, not to get political, but there's just the memes, of J.D. Vance's large face. They're just like, oh, he died after seeing the Pope. But we'll get better news in just a sec with your favorite segment, What's Trending. This week, we're doubling up on the segment, starting with the Oscars. So basically, starting in 2026 with ceremony, Academy members must watch the films. Yeah, you heard that right. You heard that right. Yep. Basically, they didn't have to watch the movies before they voted on them in the Academy. So now they're running it through this program where you can't skip, and if you just decide not to watch the movie, you can't vote on it. It's kind of shocking how this wasn't the case before. You could just not watch the film and vote for it or another one. And this also comes after people have just been saying they didn't watch the movies. They've been admitting that they didn't watch the movies and they voted on it. They just weren't interested. It's kind of crazy, but what are you thinking of this?
I think it's smart. Well, I think it's smart because now you have to actually watch a movie and then you can vote on it instead of just like not watching it and vote. Yep.
I agree with that, although I'm wondering why they didn't implement that earlier.
Right? It's like it's 2026 and we have just people voting for things they haven't even seen. It seems very wrong.
Been a while.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it has been a while. Okay. Anyway, we have one more What's Trending today. So, a lot of teachers, maybe even Mr. England, I don't know. But basically they're like, oh, don't use AI because it's not good. That's a generalization, but basically that's what they say. Well, guess what? Starting September 1st, 2025, people in China will have to learn AI because the Chinese government is mandating AI education for all students, including as young as 6. I mean, they're 6 years old, and it's only 8 hours a year that they're learning AI. But it's the contrast is crazy. You know, we have people here, let's not use AI, it's not good. And then you have people in China learning how to use AI basically to cheat, you know? What do you think of this?
I think it's interesting how China's doing things differently than the rest of the world.
I don't really like this. You know, a lot of schools actually, you know, staying on the topic of technology and rules at DJDS, a lot of schools in the United States have actually put in phone restrictions, just like our school. So if you thought we were like alone, we're not. You know, I know a few states have actually put laws in place where they can't have phones in school and stuff like that. I don't know about in China though. Anyway, that's all for today, and we'll see you next week on DJDS Radio.
Stay hydrated, guys. It's hot outside.
Thanks.
Yeah.